Another channel for gaming streams. So if you're interested in that, I go live every Thursday at least. You can also follow me everywhere at Braindead Horror. Otherwise, thanks again for watching and thanks for hanging out. And I'll see you guys again real soon. Jesus Christ. Hey guys, it's Nick with Braindead, and in this video we'll be recapping the events of Evil Dead 2, the OG requel. Another one of my favorite horror movies of all time. It contains just about everything that I love in the horror genre. It's creepy, it's goofy, it's got a ton of blood, the practical effects are great, Bruce Campbell's campy performance is amazing, the acting improved, and did I mention all the blood? I love it. Honestly, I only have sort of one complaint about the whole movie, which is that the second half kind of drags a little bit. It's just that Bruce Campbell is so much fun as Ash when he's by himself that introducing a bunch of new characters for him to interact with, although necessary, just slows things down a bit for me. But that's just like a tiny little itty bitty complaint. Is really not that big a deal. So no more complaining, let's just get into it. The movie opens with a voiceover detailing the history of the Nocturon de Monto.
Necronomicon ex mortis.
Son of a bitch. He says it was created long ago by the Dark Ones, inked in blood, summons demons, the works. And it disappeared in 1300 AD. That's all we get for now, as we start to follow Ash and Linda, who are on their way to a cabin in the woods for a romantic getaway. They arrive without any bridge collapses, and make themselves right at home. While on the search for some champagne, Ash finds a tape recorder and can't help but press play. Oh, and did I mention this isn't Ash's cabin? It's actually supposed to be abandoned, yeah. So the presence of all of this equipment should probably be concerning. Oh well. The voice on the recorder is Professor Raymond Noby, who explains that he and his wife came to this cabin to study the Necronomicon, a book he had found in an ancient Kandarian castle while on an expedition. Noby was eventually able to translate the book's contents, which speaks of evil spirits that roam around in the darkness. The good news is that you can meet these spirits by reading some of the book's passages, which Noby does. This unleashes one of the little devils, which then crashes through the window and possesses Linda. Ash goes outside to look for her, finding that she's already gone full deadite. As she tries to attack him, he grabs a shovel and decapitates his girlfriend, accidentally burying a mannequin in her place. Poor guy, so stricken with grief he can't even tell the difference. This, unfortunately, doesn't mark the end of Ash's ordeal, because it looks like there's another POV demon on the prowl. It sends him over the river and through the woods, right into a tree, then falling into a puddle from which he emerges a new man. Deadite. Whatever. Luckily, this doesn't last long, as it seems that the spirits can't endure sunlight. So, Ash turns back to normal for the time being, but passes out just long enough for nightfall to be right around the corner again. Realizing he's gotta move quickly, he drives down to the bridge, only to find it completely mangled. The sun begins to set, allowing another eager demon to chase Ash all the way back to the cabin. Although, it's not super keen on being thorough, and defeatedly goes back to where it came from after failing to check the cellar where Ash was hiding. Surfacing once the coast is clear, he's greeted by the sound of a self-playing piano, which would be kinda cool if it wasn't taunting him by performing a song he played for Linda earlier. That's so fucked up, dude. These demons are assholes. Further proving that point, Linda rises up from her grave, way more decomposed than she should be, and dances around just like she did earlier when she had more skin. She ends the number with a disappearing act, then reappears in the window Ash is looking out and roughs him up a bit. All of that was just a dream, though. All of that actually happened, and Linda's severed head bites onto Ash's hand, and no matter how many chairs, books, or walls he bashes it with, it doesn't let go. That is, until he makes his way out to the shed and puts it in a vice grip, at which point Deadite Linda starts talking shit. He talks right back.
You're going down.
They're interrupted by the rest of Linda with a chainsaw, Ash overcoming the body and securing his now signature weapon, with which he uses to cut Linda's head in half. He then goes back to the cabin, trades his chainsaw for a shotgun, and finds even more physics-defying furniture. That seems to be the least of his problems, considering he's currently trying to choke himself. Hey man, whatever you're into, okay? I don't judge. In any case, that's not gonna be so easy anymore since his hand gets possessed by the spirit of Thing. The little bastard starts fucking with the guy, smashing plates on his head and attempting to kill him with a meat cleaver. Ash does get the upper... Nah. No, too easy. Ash does get a leg up though, stabbing his hand into the floor and keeping it there nice and still for him to take the chainsaw to it. And I would be totally remiss if I didn't mention Bruce Campbell's amazing slapstick hand acting here. That shit will never get old for me. Ever. The hand isn't dead, however. I'm not sure if you can kill a hand. So Ash puts a bucket with a visual joke stacked on top of it so it doesn't get away. This turns out to be ineffective as it's still able to claw itself over and into the wall. Firing aimlessly, Ash eventually hits his target and gets drenched in blood for his victory. After which, his insanity tenfolds when he tries to take a load off and the chair breaks under his weight. Alright, listen here, you rubberneck fuck. Oh shit, he has friends. A lot of friends, actually. Literally everything in the cabin that can move starts laughing at Ash, Ash himself giving in to the madness and laughing along. That is until his laughter turns into cries of agony, and everything suddenly stops when they hear something outside.
Anyway, I started blasting.
Sounding like he hit someone, Ash takes a quick peek outside, sees nothing, and when his guard is down, gets tackled by a rabid forest hillbilly who promptly knocks him out. The guy's not alone though, because it turns out he was helping guide a couple archaeologists to the cabin, since, you know, the bridge was out of order. The archaeologists are Ed Gentley and Annie Noby respectively, Annie being the daughter of Professor Raymond Noby, the guy we heard earlier on the recorder. The wannabe linebacker is Jake, and tagging along with him is his girlfriend Bobby Joe, who Ash shot in the shoulder. They toss Ash's ass into the cellar and take a look around, thinking he did something to the elder Nobys. Finding the tape recorder, they resume Raymond's audio log. He laments that his wife was possessed by the demon he had unleashed and he was forced to kill her. What's more is that he couldn't bring himself to dismember her, as you're obviously supposed to do in these situations. So he just buried her whole in the cellar. Oh, fuck. Henrietta tries to feast on Ash's soul. However, the rest of the group realize he's in trouble and pull him out. By the face. They're eventually able to lock the possessed Mrs. Noby back in the cellar, where she tries to pull the oldest trick in the Necronomicon, turning into the unpossessed Mrs. Noby. Annie almost falls for it, but Ash steps in to death stare some sense into her. Not that it matters much, because now it's Ed's turn to become dead-eyed. 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 Dead-died. He did die in Dead Night is now. That is impossible to say. I don't know why I wrote that in here. This is bullshit. Not that it matters much, because now it's Ed's turn to become dead-eyed. I think I did it. Holy shit. He bites some of Bobby Joe's hair out and smashes Jake's head into a light bulb, all before Ash comes in with an axe and chops him up. After a bit of a breather, Jake notices that the path they took to get to the cabin is gone.
Like the witches swallowed her up.
No time to dwell on that though, as there's a bunch of loud bangs and crashes happening all around them. Whatever it is lands in the bedroom with Ash and Annie. Ashney? With Ashney being the only two brave enough to check it out. The pair find nothing but a mostly empty room, with the other two following closely behind. Just then, Pazuzu shows up, ready to ruin another franchise's second installment.
Father?
Oh, thank Father Karras. It's just the ghost of Raymond. Papa Nobi says the only way to stop the demons is the same way you unleash them. Reading! Specifically, the pages of the Necronomicon that Ed and Annie had just discovered and brought to the cabin. The demons aren't quite down with that plan, so Ash's severed hand comes back to scare the shit out of Bobby Joe. So much so that she runs out into the woods by herself, running into what looks to be another Necronomicon pre-paper-making process. It wraps her up in its branches because the trees in this franchise can't keep their appendages to their goddamn selves, and drags her deep into the woods, killing her by slamming her into another tree. Back at the cabin, Annie deciphers the new passages and learns that reading them will first summon the head demon in its physical form, second, open a portal through time and space, and third, suck the demon. Damn you, Jake! He wants to go out and find his dead girlfriend, throwing the necro pages into the cellar and forcing Ashney to help him look with the influencing power of Gun. Of course, this doesn't turn out well for any of them, as Ash turns into a deadite once again, picking Jake up and tossing him into a tree. Annie retreats back to the cabin and grabs the Kandarian dagger for protection. And if you're wondering where the hell that came from, well, the Nobis found it on their first expedition to the Kandarian castle alongside the Necronomicon. I must have missed that every single time I've watched this movie until now. The things you miss until you have to explain them in a summary video. Anyway, Annie fucks up and stabs Jake after he bursts through the back door, an honest mistake, then repeatedly closes the door on him in an attempt to keep Ash from getting in. A dangerously stupid mistake. She makes up for it by pulling the dagger out of him and dragging him to safety, right next to the fruit cellar, where they locked a vicious demon. Oh my god, Annie, stop helping. Please. Jake then gets grabbed by the face and pulled into the cellar, where he dies from drowning in fruit punch. Not a bad way to go, honestly. Ash reappears, throws Annie against a wall, and is about to kill her when he sees the necklace he gave to Linda earlier, which snaps him out of his deadite state. Annie doesn't realize this right away, and she tries to do him like what he done to Ed, only stopping her murder attempts after Ash grabs her face. Wow, a lot of face grabbing in this movie, huh? Ashney then plan an excursion into the cellar to get the pages back, prompting Ash to gear up. He adds an attachment to the chainsaw to stick his nub in, then properly sizes the shotgun to match.
Groovy.
After a bit of a scavenger hunt, Ash gathers up all of the pages, which Annie begins to recite. Henrietta then pops out from under the stairs, rendering him unconscious long enough to go after Annie. But you can't keep a good Campbell down, so he gets himself topside and goes head to extended head with the demon. The fight ends when Annie distracts the deadite with a song her mother used to sing to her when she was a baby, allowing Ash to saw the thing to pieces. It still tries to talk some shit, but Ash shuts that down with another iconic one-liner.
Swallow this.
A small victory compared to what they have to deal with next, the head honcho himself, uglier Freddy Krueger. I didn't know that was possible. Annie was only able to recite the passage that manifested this thing. Now she needs to finish it and open the rift to send it back to where it came from. As she's trying to do so, the nuisance that has been Ash's evil hand stabs her before she can complete the citation. Not to worry though, Annie's a fighter, and she's still able to squeak out the rest of the texts, opening the portal and sucking the demon. Damn you, portal! It sucks Ash in along with everything else and spits it all back out in the middle of a desert. Oh no. Knights? Horses? Medieval weapons? Ash teleported into a Monty Python sketch? Fuck! The round table is about to make an Ash kebab when a flying deadite comes screeching out of nowhere. Ash just uses his boomstick to make short work of it. The movie ends with all the king's men chanting in praise of the Skyman, and Ash not really feeling the love. Alright, thanks for watching this recap. If you made it this far, you should totally subscribe. I got Army of Darkness coming up next, which I'm very excited to dig into, because I have not seen that movie in way too long. And then you're just gonna have to wait and see what comes next, because I'm not telling you. No, seriously, I'm not saying shit. Anyway, if you want more from me, I got another whole channel for gaming streams only. Left control to crouch. Climb through the hatch. Well, I thought I was going to do You fucker! You fucker! God damn you to hell. You can go ahead and check that out whenever if you want to, or if you don't, that's cool too, because you can also follow me everywhere at Braindead Horror. Otherwise, thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you guys again real soon.